Hello everybody, this is Claire Van Steenwyk coming to you from my home office in Sun City, West Arizona. I want to talk to you a little bit about what's going on in Washington, D.C. and is spread around the country and is spreading around the world. And that's the consolidation of power over us, the people. Not only us here in the United States, but other people in other parts of the world. The Biden administration, and I'm not giving any credit to President Biden. He doesn't deserve any. These plans were worked out by people much brighter than him, or Harris, or any of his staff. We all know that. We have globalists that are basically running our government. You know, what people used to talk about, one world government, the World Trade Organization. These are globalists. And they want to consolidate power worldwide. Biden's one part of that puzzle. One of his worldwide ideas is to turn over the information as to how our vaccines are made to other countries. And then pretty soon next will come in line something else they want to turn over to China or somebody else. They want to set up a whole new world order. And they're working at it really hard. And they know they've got to get most of it done before November of next year, working on the idea that most of the people will actually see what they did in the last election and not allow it to happen again. Because I'm not going to depend on our so-called legislators in Arizona to fix the laws to stop it here. It's going to have to be up to us, the people. But understand this too. There's not a lot of difference in some ways between the two parties, other than the Democrat Party is really a Marxist, socialist, communist party with still some leftover liberals and moderates in it. No conservatives. I don't see any conservatives in that party at all. The Republicans, on the other hand, are liberals, which some people like to call RINOs. Then you've got moderates. Then you've got and I mean that literally, CONS-ervatives. They're con artists. Then you've got some conservatives. And then you've got some people that truly support the U.S. Constitution. We need to not vote for anybody in the Republican Party that is a liberal, RINO, or a moderate, or any so-called conservatives that go along with all of this, compromising all the time. You know, like here's a moderate for you in the Democrat Party, that Machen out of, I think it's West Virginia. He says, basically he's made comments about if he can get the president to lower what he wants to increase in taxes, then he could see his way to doing that. So we're going to go from, say, 21% to 25 instead of 28. That ain't a bad deal. Let me ask all of you this. How do you like paying higher gas prices? How do you like now paying higher utility prices? How do you like paying higher food prices? And higher prices for your clothes, and higher prices for electronics, and higher prices for a lot of other things. And they're going to get worse. That's what you call an incremental tax increase because of the policies of the Socialist Communist Democrats in Washington, D.C. These tax increases by price increases are working their way down to us. But the other part of the problem here is this. If you start turning over our information on our technical stuff of how we got there, how we created the vaccine, and all the rest of the world, we're in big trouble. Because then companies can't protect anything. And then you will have China will have it, Russia will have it, North Korea will have it. Anybody that wants it will have it. So what are we? How are you going to keep us creating all these vaccines and other improvements in our technology and ways of life if they're just going to be handed over to other people, and the companies that benefit the most, that make them, don't really get to profit from them, nor do their employees, which for the most part are Americans. We can't let this happen. But this is the idea. Turning over all of these properties, all this information, will limit us in what we can do. Just like, what was it, who was that company? Honeywell. Last week it came out that they turned over or let the Chinese see some plans for one of our fighter planes. And our great government fined them a whole $12 million. That's a joke. $12 million fine for a multi-billion-dollar company is a joke. They should have cut all ties with them, no longer let them operate within the borders of the United States. That's it. That's treason. That's treasonous. But once again, consolidating power. If you can consolidate all these world leaders into thinking one way, where some of them are now promoting the idea we have a standard tax around the world. You get taxed the same no matter where you live. Do you think taxes are going to come down? I certainly don't. You've got nations where taxes will actually go up and lower their standard of living. And some people, as we all know, can't afford to have their taxes touched at all, even in our country. We can't allow this to continue to happen. But the socialist communists that are now running the Democrat Party are hell-bent on getting this done. And you have Republicans that have allowed this to take place, like McConnell, McCarthy, when Ryan was in office. What's that woman's name? Oh, Murkowski in Alaska, and others, Collins in Maine. These people are liberals. And then you have Cheney, who many people that I talk to think is going to run for president in 2024 as an independent. And all she'll do is pull votes away from President Trump. Or she's going to have to support the Democrats. These are the kind of people we can't afford in the Republican Party. And we need to purge ourselves of these people. One other place Biden's working on consolidating power is at the border. In our Constitution, it states very clearly, we're supposed to repel invasions. You got that? Repel invasions. Dwight Eisenhower said very clearly before he left office in 1961 that he believed personally, that anytime you have people within your borders and you don't know who they are, it's an invasion. Illegals come in our country and we don't know who they are or where they're at. That's called an invasion, and we need to repel that invasion. But I don't believe the federal government's doing it, and I know the state isn't, because they're actually picking them up at the border and then taking them to camps where they can be cleaned and given places to sleep and sometimes given some medication and food, then put on buses and planes and trains and sent all over the country where you'll never know where they are again. That's another way to drastically change our nation, because some of these states, like California, let illegals vote, and others are going to be coming online. And Biden and his group want to have illegals allowed to vote and give them an immediate jet plane to American citizenship so they can vote. We can't have this kind of consolidation of power. I believe one of the reasons Biden works so well with China is his son got paid so damn much money by China. I don't think we have a president. I think we have a Manchurian president, in my own estimation of what he's done so far and what the Democrats go along with. But trust me once again, I don't believe this is a plan of Biden or Harris or any of the nincompoops they have in charge of departments in our government. This plan goes far deeper and much farther, because these clowns can't think that hard. And we need to recognize it. So as Republicans and Americans, there's only one thing I believe we can do. We have to purge our own party of what some people call RINOs, which are liberal Republicans, and moderates as well, who are just on the borderline of being liberal. And we have to take the CONS-ervatives, which most of these people are, that lie to us about being conservatives, and get them out of our party. And I believe 99.9% of them are long-term career politicians at all levels, from governor on down to school boards. We need to get rid of them. That's up to us in primaries. We need to support, protect, and defend the U.S. Constitution and those who will serve it. And by that, I'm talking about people that some are in the party that are in office are conservatives. They don't know much about the Constitution, but they are conservatives. They need to be taken care of. You have some constitutionalists like myself running for office. You need to support them. We are in the battle of our lifetime to maintain our country, our cities, our counties, and our states. And if you don't help us do it, it isn't going to get done. But it's not going to get done by just watching people talk, going to meetings, or reading what they write and not sharing it with others. You have got to get up and go share it with others. We have enemies around the world. They are globalists, one world government types. Mr. Biden is one of them, so is Harris, and so basically is the whole Democratic Party. Pelosi, Schumer, all of these people. That's what they are. We've got to get them out of power. And we've got to make sure that people like McCarthy and McConnell and Romney and Collins and Murkowski out of Alaska never see the light of day in the Senate again. We have to get them out in the House. We've got to remove these people. It's up to us, the American citizenry, no matter what your party affiliation is. You pledge allegiance to the United States of America. You've done that since you were a little kid. You maybe didn't understand when you were little what it meant. For any of you who don't, look at what the word I pledge allegiance means. Allegiance, what that is. That's your own, say, I will protect, support, and defend the U.S. Constitution. That's what you're supposed to do. That. Not a party, not a person. The Constitution, our form of government. We want our children and grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and generations to come to be born free. The only way that's going to happen is if we fight back the tyranny that's come upon us. It's come from within. It tells us very clearly in the Constitution that we need to battle against foreign and domestic enemies. Most of our enemies at this point are within our own government, and that also includes non-elected people who are sitting in offices, secretaries, bookkeepers, all kinds of people, FBI, Department of Justice, military, they're all over the place. These people are like cockroaches or termites. They're interwoven in our whole government. We have got to move them out. So I invite all of you to share this and share the message with everyone you know and people you don't know. We have got to fight back if we're going to maintain our constitutional rights and our God-granted freedoms. I thank you for taking the time to view this. I hope you'll read the article, and I hope you share it with other people, because I do believe it's an important message that we need to get out. We cannot allow them to continue to consolidate power that's going to, in the long run, turn us into a communist nation and have tyranny throughout this country and the world. We can't do it. So I want to thank you for taking the time to listen. Keep us in your prayers. We'll keep you in ours. God bless you. Have a great day. Bye for now. And remember, we'll be back.